I think the fact that they would send lower-level folks suggests that they're not talking about the big things that we should be talking about. So it's all about tariffs and it's about the trade deficit. But the big issue with China is China 2025 and their plan to locate data inside of China to not allow it to go out. A lot of IPR situation. That's the hard part, because that's the part that is conceptual. We have to negotiate it. It's not as easy as adding up deficits and surpluses. And that's where I don't see much progress.
Is that really a key issue for the administration? It's never in the tweets. It's never in the...
That's true. I mean, what the administration is hearing from business is that's the issue.
Right, but
you may have some companies saying, look, I get slapped with 20% tariffs, so but generally speaking, the marketplace, the companies are worried about what's going to happen to my IPR, what's going to happen to my data. Do I have to leave it in China and lose the benefits of scale? All those things that I think are the real issues. That's what we should be talking about with China. So my sense is they want to get NAFTA done and focus on this issue.
I was going to ask about NAFTA, because what do you think about this approach of potentially having some kind of at least structural deal with Mexico initially, and then maybe we'll have Canada come along? I mean, is that a wonderful thing?
It's odd because we don't have an FTA with Mexico to start with, and it's not NAFTA if you don't have the three countries. I've heard all week that the Canadians will be here to save the day and we'll have an agreement by tomorrow. I just don't see that. I think it's a lot more complex. There are things that Canada doesn't agree with. And regrettably, it's turned personal. So I think this is a little bit of punishment for Canada. The deal needs to be struck by Friday in order for AMLO to get it in before in order for it to go into effect before he takes office.
Okay.
That's December 1. But then we also have the November elections. I don't think President Trump wants the midterms with a cloud hanging over NAFTA, because that's what really impacts his base is NAFTA. You know, agriculture, the Midwest, manufacturing, autos. So I think there's a better story in having China be the foil than having NAFTA cloud hanging over all his constituents.
But so that's an argument for getting to a faster.
Exactly. So I think there's no question they want to get to a faster deal. They want to start with Mexico, but the Canadian variable is the one that that can hold things up.
Your optimism may not be that we have a deal tomorrow. Do you think we have one in the next?
That's right. I think we have a handshake tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or today or whenever, and there'll be discussions about Canada coming in, and the Canadians will make a statement saying we're looking forward to it. And but again, you have this personal cloud hanging over the negotiations, which in business that shouldn't be allowed.
Getting back to China, the scenario you laid out. Do you think that we could have a situation where the administration feels like it's reached a victory, but American business feels like it's lost?
That's that's probable, because on the ground, businesses are feeling this, and the president will declare victory. Now, he'll declare victory on NAFTA. There'll be a list of 20 things, whether they be small or large, and he'll say, look, we achieved that. And what he's looking for with China is to achieve some sort of agreement that allows him to say, look, I took on China. The problem that businesses will be saying is, no, you haven't, because the issue's China 2025. And you won't be here for China 2025. So that's where the issue is, and it's not.
Is that any different than previous administrations, though? Because I'm not sure that we've made any progress on that front anyway. I mean, this is something that was going to come to a head.
Yeah, I think that we have made progress steadily since 1979. Mm-hmm. And we continue to make progress. And 10 years ago, IPR was out of control. The Chinese now have IPR.
Right.
They're protecting Alibaba and Tencent and all their other brands, so they see the rationale.
Bringing them along is the way to win that battle.
Yeah, and I think the IPR environment, the idea that somebody steals your brand, your product, and all of a sudden you find it on the shelf, which I ran into 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Today, that's not as common because the Chinese have their own brands.
Ask Microsoft. They may have a different point of view if you ask Microsoft or some of those countries.
True. I mean, there are still some, and Microsoft was one where 10 years ago we had it solved. So any PC you buy has to have U.S. software embedded. Where did that go? That's the issue with striking a deal on China 2025 today is, you know, it's a long time in the future. But that's the issue. It's not the deficit or the surplus. And we should get NAFTA done, pivot to China, do it right, and focus on that. That's the issue.